We talked about the big first half he had, 24 points, 22 in the first quarter alone. But when the Heat needed him the most, he has absolutely delivered.
Jimmy Buckets just had one of the greatest playoff performances of all time. With 56 points and a win over the top seed Bucks, he secured his place in history and is now tied for the fourth most points in NBA playoff history. His performance had people talking again about an old rumor that Michael Jordan is actually Jimmy's father. It comes from some similarities in how they play, obviously how they look, and the fact that Jimmy played for the Bulls at the start of his career. Clearly these rumors have no basis, but what we saw last night from Jimmy was eerily similar to another 56-point playoff game from none other than MJ himself. That game took place in 1992, and there are a surprising amount of similarities between these two performances. First, the game took place in Miami. Not that crazy. It was also in the first round, again, not that crazy. There was an MVP finalist on each team. Starting to get a little bit weird. Add in that it's between a number 1 and 8 seed, and we've got something. But to top it all off, the creepiest part is that the final score was 119 to 114. Both MJ and Jimmy scored exactly 47% of their team's points. Breaking down their stat lines further, things get a little more weird. While Jimmy took 28 shots, MJ took 30. They both ended up taking 18 free throws, Jimmy making 15, MJ making 16. On top of that, when you go and watch the final couple of points that each of them scored, guess how they scored it? Yep, free throws. For two 56-point scoring performances in the playoffs to have this many similarities just makes me wonder if there's any credibility to those rumors after all. My biggest question at this point is, can Jimmy continue this throughout the rest of the playoffs? Let's look a little bit deeper at this individual performance and how it can shape the rest of this playoff run for the Heat. Butler starts off 6 for 6, including this dunk over Giannis. Look, I know Giannis has a bad back and everything, but if Jimmy doesn't go up strong here, he's going to get blocked. Giannis even gets his hand on the ball. It looks to me like this is the moment when Jimmy Butler decided everyone was getting a bucket tonight. Taking a look at his shot charts here, you can see he dominated inside the three-point line, shooting 80% of his field goals from the two-point range and scoring 63% of his points that way. Even though he went 1 for 5 from three-point range, not in the corners, that 1-3 put the Heat up 110-109 with a minute and a half left. See all those red zones? That means he shot more than 10% better than the league average in those areas. So how did he do it? Well, for starters, he took advantage of the defense that the Bucks were playing on him. Whether it was Middleton not closing out all the way, or bigs like Bobby Portis giving him just enough space to hit a mid-range. Butler is one of the best in the league at just letting the game come to him. You know he wants to take over this game and make sure that the Heat don't lose, but watch here in the corner as he just waits, lets Kyle Lowry find him, then shoots in Jrue Holiday's face. This play here shows how Jimmy Butler views the floor. Even though the Bucks are sagging off him, and he just hit a 3, he doesn't shoot right here. He sees that Joe Ingles and Bobby Portis are having some sort of miscommunication on defense, so he decides to attack. When Portis pushes Ingles into position to play some defense, Butler takes advantage of it, gets the foul, and hits the acrobatic and 1. Butler sinks the free throw here to get 3 points the old-fashioned way.
Ingles, just a little bit slight bump right there.
Here you see Butler matched up against the shorter Grayson Allen. Jimmy at 6'7", Allen at 6'4". Bucks don't offer to help even though Butler already scored 24 points in the first half. When Holiday does come to help, it's already too late and Butler pulls up for an easy mid-range. Jrue Holiday at 6'5" wasn't a match for Jimmy either. Jimmy ended up scoring 18 of his 56 points on Jrue, who has always been in the conversation when talking about best perimeter defenders in the league. Defensive Player of the Year finalist Brook Lopez doesn't stand a chance either. I wasn't kidding when I said Jimmy Butler gave everyone buckets. But by far, one of the most impactful things he did on offense was attack Chris Middleton. In the fourth quarter, Middleton had 4 fouls. This right here is his 5th. Butler is so effective at getting to the rim, getting that contact, and finishing through contact, especially in clutch performances like this. A few minutes later, as the Bucks continue their collapse, Butler gets the ball on a fast break, and this is where you see his IQ come into play. Even though they have the lead, rather than slow it down and hold the ball, Jimmy attacks Chris Middleton. With his 6th foul, Butler eliminates one more offensive threat in the final minute of the game. Going into clutch time, Jimmy Butler had 36 points.
And Giannis was trying to call timeout. Gets the ball to Jimmy Butler. 44, big one.
In the final minute 20 of the game, Butler scored 10 points. In case you had any doubt, Jimmy Buckets shows up in clutch time. That's why he's one of the Clutch Player of the Year finalists this year. During the regular season, he scored 151 points in clutch time. This step back right here was an inch away from being a three-pointer. And if it was, I probably would have named my next kid Jimmy freaking Butler. I don't know if the Bucks can come back from this, but I do know one thing. Jimmy, you made your daddy proud. Thanks for watching Stat Stories.